guys, it's Ann. Welcome to my homeworm farming channel, and today we're gonna do something in preparation for getting the next bin ready. And then also I'm taking a page out of Rocking Worms book and I'm going to start pre-composting my paper. Not doing the normal prepared bedding, but actually trying to do a little bit of pre-composting where I'm going to use my electric compost as a starter. But first things first, I have to get all these tubs sifted in order to make some room in the basement so that I can put together my pre-composting bin, and then also so that I can put things up. All of these totes have to get out of my way. So some of this is potted plant dirt and some of it is just regular compost. And what the plan is today is I am gonna do a lot of sifting. So I have my, I don't know what size screen this is. This is my GP214. So if you translate that to what it is for real, you can put that in the comments below for people. This is a good mid-range size that will take out the big stuff and let a lot of the cocoa peat go through, and then I can use the perlite and rock and whatever else is in here to replant things or start seeds for next year. But as these bins they don't have worms in them, and basically it's roots, perlite. As of right now, none of my overwintered peppers have made it, and I'm down to only tropical bonsais. Everything else has not made it through the move, unfortunately. So because compost is so expensive, even the kind you purchase, I'm gonna try and, you know, that's why it's in bins. I didn't want to throw away any of my good soil for compost. So it is in bins all over the basement here. And now that with, you know, reasonable certainty that there's not going to be a tsunami in the basement, I think I feel comfortable setting things up and getting ready. So one of the things that I did before I had my worms over here that I started moving the compost was I did have these compost bins here. So I was just really kind of burying my scraps in these bins, so you can see the eggshell. So I'm sure there is some good microbes in here. I've tried to keep the moisture pretty high, and by that I mean I probably have came through and put a couple gallon bucket of water in every couple of weeks. And so what I'm coming up here is I've got peat and compost, maybe some soil, depends. But I have used this to compost scraps before the worms were here, so I know that at the very least it was good enough to do some of that. So I know there has to be life in there, even if there's not worms. So this is gonna be my pre-compost that I am going to basically take my shredded paper and put this together in my Little Mammoth. And the Little Mammoth is going to become the pre-compost bin. I'm going to take the red wigglers I got from Mimi. Those will probably go in with glue, unless I come up with some other dastardly plan. And then the European night crawlers that should be here this week are going to go in the wedge. So if I can make some space in the basement here, then those two projects can go forward. But right now I have got about 6 of these totes full of compost that need to be cleaned out and in my opinion, sift it. Now I suppose I don't need to sift it, but I'm a sifter person. I like to sift things, I guess. And some people like to see me sift things, so here we are, sifting things. Not to mention that large size perlite and diatomaceous earth is not cheap. For bonsai soil, this is one of the better things. It basically is a powerhouse that keeps giving. All the microbes will get in here and stay in here and be a biological sink for the plants originally and now for the compost. So I think that's why the compost was able to continue eating all of my people scraps, even though there wasn't any worms in here. And then, once I get the rest of the basement sorted out, maybe I can start with my bonsais again. I'll do a video or a little short or something of the plants that I do have left. When I used to work as a chemist, I used to have a lot of testing that I did where I had to shake vials and glassware. And in the back of my mind, I was always singing the milkshake song for no good reason, or shake that thing. So if you ever think, you know, what is going through her brain when she's doing this for hours on end, it's mostly the milkshake song and shake that thing. So if I get any good deals on trees or something this fall, maybe I can start up some new bonsais. Because this is a beautiful mix. Diatomaceous earth can come as a powder, or it can come as chunks like this. And with the prices of everything going through the roof and going crazy, I absolutely am not throwing anything away if I can help it. If it takes a little bit of effort to make it usable again, then that is what we're gonna do. I think I'm getting a pretty good recovery, really. Okay, now I'm moving over to my orchid mix, which is large bark, large strand coconut coir or peat moss. The orchids also did not make the trip very well. Something about leaving them alone for 2 months made them angry. The worms are happy to be left alone for a couple of months. Plants, not so much. All right, that's a lot of dust. I might have to re-rub that a little bit. One thing's too wet, one thing's too dry. Mix them together. Goldilocks, right? Dogs are milling around in the background. They do not know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get their noses in to see if it's edible. I certainly wouldn't want to have to gold pan for a living. But I've almost got enough to start that bin. At least when I'm kind of scratching it here, I'm not worried about getting any worms hurt. There we go. I'm willing to bet that's 10 or 15 gallons of, it's not wet, but it's definitely dampish. And I think that and a little electrocompost and some paper, and give that a couple of weeks, and I'm willing to bet that I'll have much better pre-made compost, pre-made bedding for the worms so that they don't have to work so hard. Considering what I've put them through the last 8 months, I think they deserve it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with me and my sifter, which I will leave a link to down below. And everybody, have a good day.